Yippee-ki-yay, mother effers. Welcome to the Joystick Show. It's time to celebrate some Christmas cheer.
That was some high energy, bro.
Yeah. You say hive energy?
High energy.
Oh, high energy. Yeah, you know.
High energy.
More like some die energy.
Oh, yeah.
Some die hard. Get it? Because that's the thing from the movie. Yeah. Welcome to the Joystick Show, episode 120. Celebrating the Christmas cheer with our Christmas special.
Yeah.
It's our third Christmas special, actually.
Yeah.
Kind of nuts.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Three holiday seasons spent here on Joystick.
Was I here last Christmas?
Don't know, but I know Joey's not here this Christmas.
No.
Nope.
Joey is
I think I know who's getting a lump of coal this year.
You transferred to the naughty list already.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what you do in your free time.
You know it.
Yeah.
But, before we get into anything for this episode of the podcast, it'd be cool if you guys could like this episode. If you could subscribe to Team Joystick and stay tuned for a lot of fun coming your way in the next 40-ish minutes.
Yeah.
Here on the Joystick Show.
Correct.
I mean, what have you guys been up to? I'm just curious.
Ooh, yeah. I completely to get myself in the Christmas cheer, working on finals. I wrote an 11-page essay, so that was fun. And after finishing that, I decided to spend my time in a more productive way, and that is move up the ranked GeoGuessr leaderboard.
Got it.
I am ranked in very low elo right now,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll just make my way. It'll be a good time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How are you?
So do you watch that guy? What's his face?
Rainbow?
Do you watch his tips or whatever?
It's pretty good. It's a lot of it at this point is just memorization.
Is that the guy with the long hair?
Yeah. He's really good. The weird thing is he's not even one of the best now. He's just the most marketable.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he has his things pop off everywhere. His TikToks and
He has the look. He's like, oh.
Yeah, he definitely is the look. He's American. He doesn't have the accent. A lot of the best players like German, and it's broken English, But a lot of the game is just memorizing shit and playing the same map so much that you're kind of this is a Bulgaria vibe,
Last I heard, he was planning to live in a different country every month or something like that.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Damn.
Or it might have been longer, a longer period, but he's planning to basically live in a different country for different periods of time. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a fucking crazy thing.
Oh, that is a pretty good vibe.
Forget where he's starting, but
A lot of countries do allow that, though, so maybe I should steal that shit.
yeah, right.
Yeah. Let's push Jerry to say something.
I was about to say, how are you celebrating this Christmas season?
How am I celebrating this Christmas season? I'm gonna buy some Christmas presents late, every year,
Oh, word, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tradition at this point,
It's funny he brings that up because my girlfriend is in Argentina, and I had to buy her Christmas gifts and some gifts for her parents as well, really, really early because they were leaving really early.
Yo, yeah.
So I asked my mom, and we went to Target one night, and we went in, and it was literally an hour before closing, so nobody was there. And as I was pulling in, I was like, this feels familiar. I feel like we did this recently. You and I came to Target. She's like, yeah, last Christmas Eve for you to get gifts. And I was like, that's right. Last time I was there was the 24th of December.
Damn.
On a giant line that wrapped around Target to buy last minute Christmas gifts because I left it for that late. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. So I learned my lesson this year.
I'm going to be looking for the fucking Target logo on my next gift, bro. I'm going to be like, where is it? How much was this shit?
And I've been celebrating the holiday season by pulling my fucking hair out trying to make videos, but it's actually been a pretty fun experience, so I can't really say that
the creative
it's that
was turning.
I mean, if you've been following along with Joystick, we've been doing a fun little 12 days of Joystick kind of event here. We're starting last Wednesday with episode 119 of the Joystick Show. We put out a fun little stocking stuffer for you every single day.
Mm-hmm.
As of the recording of this episode, we've put out a Let's Play, we've put out a Wikipedia race and a best of our Quantum Conundrum Let's Plays and the other podcast, and there's a whole fucking lot more coming. In fact, I think I can fairly say we've left the best stuff for last.
Correct.
We even put out that cool little question and answer with my dad. Thank you.
Oh, that was
a question.
That was an aesthetic video.
Right?
If you guys haven't watched that, that's a fucking.
So that's arguably the most professional video on our channel. But
bro, when that shit cut to the other fucking angle, I was like, ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
It makes you look more knowledgeable.
Yeah.
It's important to know.
It is. It actually does. When I look at someone and then it cuts to a different angle of them saying the same sentence.
Yeah.
But later, it's like, oh yeah.
I filmed something today that I won't get into. Just, I mean, by the time you're watching it, I guess it'll already have been. Yeah. I filmed my movie review show, the first episode of it, movies I like, because it came out yesterday. But I intentionally made the decision not to add the second camera because I didn't want to look knowledgeable on the subject.
Oh, no?
I wanted to feel more laid back and more kind of jokey about it.
Well, that would fit. If you do a stupid episode, that would fit. If you do a really with one with jokes in it, you know,
yeah.
it would just be,
If anything, my plan was to have the secondary camera to actually like turn to. You know what I mean? To
I like that.
You know what I mean? Type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I might do that. I mean, hey, it's the pilot, so you can go ahead. You can check it out if you like it. You live, you learn. Episode 2 will be better. That's how everything here works. I enjoyed the Wikipedia race. I thought that was really fun.
Oh shit, yeah. We actually have to do what we say with those things and follow like sequels to that.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Like the trivia thing we said we were.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I am motivated as all hell to start.
Yeah, I think everyone's excited for that one for sure.
And what's really cool about making all this content in such a short amount of time is it also kind of gives us a good idea of what it is we like to do and what like I know we used to make the Let's Plays back in the day where they were more kind of like regular Let's Plays, but this time we did a more like drinking game, Let's Play, party game oriented thing, and I had a fucking ball with it.
Yeah, that's always way more fun.
Even Andy hit us up personally.
Yeah,
I was like, bro, that looked like mad fun. When am I getting? When we're having a game night? And I was like,
yeah, word.
So I mean, people receive that well, and I think that's something we could really work on.
It's also just
cool.
people because people I know that have watched us, they like the fact that we're just normal people. And I feel like that is really something that we tap into.
I don't want to like get too, because this is not what this episode is about. But I obviously, as the creator and the overall kind of.
I mean, you've been fucking working on shit every day. Like, of course, that's what you're thinking about.
But fucking the way I look at it is and I don't like to use the term because I don't necessarily care about the money, but I feel like the overall selling point of Joystick is the fact that we've been legitimate friends for as long as we've had.
It feels like something like you watch a video like the Let's Play or even the Wikipedia race and you're like, oh, I'd do that with my friend for a hot second.
And in a weird way, it kind of feels like you, again, I don't want to sound too exaggerative here, but it kind of feels like there's some videos that you could watch and you're like slipping right here in the table with us. Like it feels like you're joining into that friendship or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the podcast vibe, right? It's like,
it's friends having a conversation essentially.
So don't get me wrong, there's things I want to improve, like the comedy and the overall quality and stuff. But at the end of the day, as long as the heart of it is us, then it'll always work out. Yeah. But I've been having a ball making all these videos. It's also legitimately gotten me in the Christmas season, which is cool because I've been watching Christmas movies and fucking making Christmas videos and having to get snow assets and listening to music. So it's been fun.
Speaking of Christmas spirit, I need to get a Christmas hoodie. I really have never been a Christmas hoodie kind of guy. I mean, not a Christmas hoodie, Christmas sweater. Yeah,
I was about to say,
I've never been a Christmas sweater kind of guy, and like you guys always have like a different Christmas sweater.
If Jerry had a Christmas sweater,
people buy me.
I had them when I was young, and like I had like the ugly ones. You know,
we should get you like a good SpongeBob
the striped
Christmas
ones.
sweater, or like a Tom and Jerry Christmas sweater.
Yeah, that'd be fire.
That would be fire.
That would be honestly.
Dope.
Oh no, I the ones I have this one. I have the Jewish sweater.
Mm-hmm.
I have the best purchase ever. I think it's Gildan, but it was like $13, and it's gold, the Santa dabbing one.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, that shit is held up so well for like a $13 shirt, fucking sweater, you know.
I was also gonna say, and not so much in the spirit of Christmas, but as of recording this episode, it is the 18th. Yes.
Yes.
Something pretty big happened, especially in the world of sports this morning.
Oh yeah.
Or rather, last night in Qatar.
Yeah, technically.
But that was, of course, the finale to the World Cup finals between Argentina and France. And I woke up literally at the beginning of halftime. So I woke up to the commentators talking about how
I woke up like...
Yeah, Argentina was up 2-0 over France. And then literally from that point on, it turned into arguably one of the best sporting events I've ever seen firsthand, period. I don't know how to explain it. It's fucking insane.
It was good.
Would you like to chime in, sports guy?
Yes. So I don't know. Sports are just beautiful, man. That's all I have to fucking say. I mean, people tend to focus on like the numbers and like arguing about like who's the best and stuff like that. But it's all about the storylines, man. And especially when you have like the core of like a culture involved with that, it's just like, you know, people go crazy about that. And given a sport like soccer where it's like two countries that fucking die with soccer, you know.
And real quick, what I was thinking about it today about, you know, when obviously the World Cup is like a tournament that happens every 4 years, so it's not a regular thing, but it's kind of funny whenever you see teams like, I don't know, like the Warriors winning the finals last year, right? And then they go back to California and they do the fucking parade, and it's like this huge moment of like home, like that, but a country. Like,
that, but it's like Your country just got like honestly bigger parade than the fucking independence.
Yeah,
like oh wait, like you're getting a fucking parade.
And
bro.
as I mentioned earlier, my girlfriend is in Argentina.
So you're getting
all
fucking.
Of this. So I'm getting firsthand videos of the fun chaos that is ensuing in that country.
And that doesn't really happen. Like if the United States won the World Cup. Like that's like exactly. That's not even a celebration. Like
it's not even a thought, Jerry.
It's not even like we won. Okay,
win the women's World Cup, and everyone's like,
and it's still hype. No,
right. But it's
don't
not
downplay
it.
It's not the WNBA. Okay.
No, I'm saying the parade.
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just when it's one of these other smaller countries win that it's like, oh, they're like finally something.
Yeah. And it was also hype because of like the whole Messi storyline too, right? Like it's finally like the last thing he needed on his resume.
I mentioned this before, but the whole storyline for many years with Argentina was that the one World Cup that they did win was in the final game. There was like a handball, and he may have been offside, and it was like a blown call, but like there was no replay or anything like that. So it stood, and they won the game. But it became kind of like this chip on their shoulder, where it was like, oh, they didn't actually win though.
Yeah,
there was like they only had an illegitimate win. So this was like the big like no that they won.
But I mean, this shit was just story.
And also everyone on the Argentinian team, like Messi and other people, they're all pretty old. No, seriously.
Yeah.
Like
Messi and the other Argentinians.
Yeah, I don't want to fucking just start naming people, and they're like, well, he were like Di Maria and stuff. Like they're like, oh yeah, he retired last year.
If I'm being honest, that's the only other person I could
Di Maria.
Those two. That's it.
Aguero. No, but seriously, like everyone on that team is like 30 or older. So it's like this is their last shot. They're gonna be fucking 39 next World Cup. They're not playing when they're 39, and if they do, they're fucking playing in like Saudi Arabia or something.
That's why it was also like Ronaldo's last shot, and that's why it was so not detrimental, but so impactful in an emotional way for him. You know,
right?
Like, it felt like his one last shot to do it, to bring it back for Portugal in his case, but. Yeah, that has to be literally up there with some of the greatest sporting moments I've ever seen. Like,
there's been a lot of just good sporting moments.
It was funny because I was trying to think about that, and I guess to pull it onto a different chapter, because I was going to ask you, I was like, in your opinion, what sports moments are like up there, or like best games, you know? I was thinking, like in football, like the two that come to mind, especially in modern day football for me, were the past two Super Bowls. The one where the Eagles won, because that was like a giant fucking they finally did it type of thing. Not only that, it was the whole thing where Wentz had to go out halfway, and this guy had to take
Nick Foles popped the fuck off.
Yeah. And then what also comes to mind is the Super Bowl where the Falcons threw ridiculously hard.
Oh, funny story that you bring that up. There's a pretty good segue. That yesterday, Matt Ryan he broke his own record of blowing the largest lead in history after halftime. Yep. And now the number 1 and number 2 are him. Yep. He did it twice.
What was it? It was like 0-42, and then it was like 44-42 or something like that.
Yeah. So the Falcons one was like the longest in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But this one was
33 zip.
It was 33-0 at halftime. Okay. They had 0 points. And they lost the game.
They lost 39-36.
Yeah, and in fact, if the Vikings missed the field goal in overtime, Matt Ryan would have been the first ever quarterback to have 2 ties in a season, which has never happened. So he would have broke a record either way, but he broke the worst one by just getting too excited too early. Man. He's the pre-cum of football, essentially. Yeah. He's like, I did it! No, you fucking did it, bro.
Get back in there.
Your defense sucks, and you can't run the ball, so you won't win. But I mean, just like this, America is definitely like the Super Bowl.
I was gonna say, like in your front, baseball, hockey. What are some big moments there?
2004 Red Sox. The Red Sox didn't win a World Series for essentially 100 years.
Wow.
And essentially, basically it was like the curse of the Bambino. It was called, where essentially
I've heard Jose talk about that.
Where essentially, the Red Sox traded Babe Ruth. Because the owner needed money. Yeah. So instead of trading it for money, it was kind of like a soccer situation where it was just like, we're just going to pay you money. And then Babe Ruth became like the best player of all time. And the Red Sox, after like 100 years, they finally won. Yeah. And I would probably say like that with baseball. Anything with the Mets, obviously. But like the Mets always win on like the dumbest shit when they do win. Like they 1986, they won on an error essentially, and then that prolonged it into Game 7, and then they won.
That's why I just love when people like when I wear the Mets hat and people are like, "Oh, did you watch the game yesterday?" I'm like, no, I don't watch baseball. I just permanently root for the underdog because I live here. That's it. And when they do win, I can finally be like, "You see?"
Yeah, that's that's the thing about the Mets though, is that once they make the playoffs, everyone's like.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll never forget that year when they made it to the World Series against Kansas City. That fucking Jose in the chat was like, "You're just a bandwagon fan, Bobby." And I was like, "Jose, I'm not even a fan. It's just the one team I like in the sport I don't watch, and I'm happy. Like, let me live."
If you sit down, you have to be like my brother to like be someone who like sits there and watches the entire baseball game. Even I can't do that. If I'm there, because I'll have food and I'll have a drink.
Make it fun.
Yeah, and plus that's it's just a distraction to fucking talk and make fun of the people or whatever, you know.
Exactly.
But I mean, like baseball is like 3 hours, and I think that baseball is getting better because people are saying that it's like dying. But owners this year have spent $2.6 billion in free agency. Buying players and getting other players, and so I feel like it's definitely not dying. And I mean, sports are sick. There's also a lot of moments I would say in sports where like that are just like super wholesome. Like I put a thing in chat today where a player for the Bills bought a 5-year-old custom sneakers and then signed them.
That's dope.
And I was like, because his dad passed away and it was a whole thing, and the kid started crying. It's like, I feel like every player should just do that. It's like so easy. It's such great publicity.
Yeah.
You're just a fucking...
Fuck the publicity. You have the money and the time
Yeah,
to do
exactly.
It.
And it's like, why not?
Just be a nice person every now and then.
And it's like, okay, you're practicing a few days a week, but what are you going to do with those other days? You're going to go... they have the players that buy shoes for a kid that dad passed away, and then you have the guy that goes clubbing and shoots himself in the leg, But you got to choose which one.
No. At first, I was thinking you were talking about James Harden, and then I was like, oh.
No, that was...
the Giants guy.
Plaxico Burress. Shoot himself in the dick.
You real quick, I guess... I was just going to say, when I think of basketball great moments, I think of that literal... buzzer beater 3-pointer that Kawhi Leonard made to go to the finals. Where Joel Embiid cried like a bitch. I was like, that's got, and the ball literally it hits the rim and then bounces like 2 feet up, and it's like whoa, and everybody's just like, oh.
There's a lot of those. Fuck, what was I watching? Just any basketball is one of those sports where people just pop the fuck off. Yeah. I would say any moment where someone does something that's like insane is definitely up there. Just like the Miami Heat when they won like the Ray Allen 3 with like 1 second left. That's classic.
Yo, real quick, before we swing it, I heard something nuts that like I was reading about how James Harden has like an obsession with gentlemen's clubs, and how like there was even they did like a chart, and apparently like in all the cities he's played for, the ones that have higher rated gentlemen's clubs he plays better in, or something like that. Because he spends so much time there. And I was reading about how one day I might be, regardless, it's up there. I think he spent in one night over $3 million at one gentleman's club. Jeez. Could you imagine racking up a $3 million bill in one night and you didn't buy the club?
How do you...
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, I don't even...
I want to get the number right, because it was at least $1 million. I don't know if it was 3, but regardless...
That is... I mean... Athletes and famous people do this kind of thing where they do the unthinkable, or like they have like the weirdest habits. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that with like with athletes. Like they collect a weird thing, or they have like a weird fetish thingy. Or it's like there's also like this basketball wives culture. I don't know if you guys know about this, where it's like a lot of players, they'll like date the same woman.
Yeah.
So like they'll be like a girl, and they'll be like, oh, I'm dating him, but now I'm dating him. You know what I mean? Or it's like there was this player back in the day, Louis Williams. I don't know if anyone remembers him, but he was like a kind of like a role player. He was kind of like imagine like I don't know, like the sixth man. Like he comes off the bench, just hits a bunch of threes. Yeah. And he would always have like multiple girlfriends who would come sit like courtside, and they would always cut to them. And it's here are Louis Williams, 3 girlfriends.
I was gonna say fucking he spent $1 million in one night at the club, but the reason why I was reading the story and it was literally the headline of that is that the club retired his jersey in their rafters. Wow. After he did
they have to. It's like
you just walk into a gentleman's club and see fucking James Harden's jersey, like, oh shit, this is the club.
That's so insane, bro. Right. We gotta open a gentleman's club. I feel, man. Like
I'm just figuring a way to put joystick in there
somehow. It's very easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the joystick jungle.
That sounds. I do not want to go.
Sounds like a gay club. I'm not gonna lie,
It sounds like the gayest thing. It sounds like a Tarzan themed gay club, bro.
Everybody's walking around in cheetah print thongs.
It's like African. It's like.
I was gonna say, speaking of fucking
no.
To bring it back a couple sentences. Speaking of fucking basketball players dating the same women and stuff, Jerry, can you bring us up to speed on a certain legal case that's been going on lately?
Oh, the Megan Thee Stallion case.
Are you okay?
Because he's talking about the Ben Simmons thing. No, but apparently he was saying that he has like nothing to do with it.
I don't care. I just want you to.
I have no idea how he's even like. I mean, I don't have all the facts, but from what I can see, there's like a whole bunch of confusion because it seems like the case is trying to focus on her friend. Right?
Wait, so what happened? So break this down for me. Right. Yeah, break this down for me.
So when did this happen? 2018, 19, something like that?
I don't even know. It happened years ago.
A few years back. Megan Thee Stallion was in a car with Tory Lanez, her friend, and the driver.
Originally, back in the day, they thought Tory did it, right?
Yeah, and it ended up in the car. She got shot in both feet or something like that. And it was alleged that Tory Lanez was the one who pulled the trigger.
Always, yeah.
And finally, after all this time, as this always fucking happens in the legal system, we're finally fixing it now and getting to it, but. Through this like crazy court shit that's going on, it's like a he said she said argument. Yeah, and now nobody knows.
There's a lot of like these stories don't line up from what like it was originally said years ago, like when it was first reported, yada yada. And now they're like trying to like put pressure on like the friend that was there to like get her to say who shot who or like what happened with.
Because no one's okay.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, you have gunshot residue on you, which means you were close enough to see who had the gun and stuff, and she's like, oh, I didn't see who had the gun. Mm-hmm. And she's like, and they're like, oh, it wasn't. They're like, oh, well, she didn't shoot herself, and she's like, yeah. And they're like, the driver didn't shoot her, and they're like, yeah. And she's like, did Tory shoot her? And he's like, I didn't see Tory with the gun.
Maybe she shot her.
I don't know. No, it like process of elimination. It's like like I remember.
It's literally what I was saying earlier. It's like a SpongeBob episode where with Mermaid Man and Patrick, where he's like, it's not my wallet.
Like literally, it's literally that to a T. It's like,
so this is your ID. Yes, and it's in this wallet.
It has your name on it. Yeah,
and it has your name on it. Yes, so this must be your wallet. Nope.
No, it's not my wallet.
How funny would it have been though if they went through that, right? And they were like, did the driver shoot her? No. Did Megan shoot herself? No. Did Tory shoot her? No. Did you shoot her? No. Like she just freezes up there. Like it'd be okay, case fucking closed. Yeah. I was also thinking how unentertaining cases like this are. It's always way better when there's a definitive person that's like, this is the target. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to just wait around and be like,
I don't know. Like, who could it be? Like 3 years or whatever.
At least when that whole fucking what's his name? Johnny Depp, Amber Heard shit was going on.
Right.
The narrative was, that Amber Heard was kind of shitty.
I feel like that's different though.
No pun intended.
I think that's different though because that's like the drama of like a civil suit. You know what I mean? Like
I just meant in legal cases surrounding celebrities in general. Like it and even not necessarily celebrities. Like again, these are real world issues, and I don't mean to make light of it, but entertaining trivia cases, whether they be about murder or shootings or anything like that. Like whenever they make national news, you always want enough information to make a good call for yourself, but in this case everything is so up in the air that it's almost like I almost feel like I want to set an alert, like, you know what I mean? Right. Just fucking tell me when something big happens.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
what are your guesses?
It's not good drama.
Yeah, I think Megan shot herself. I think she put her feet together, one bullet.
What are your guesses? Does someone go to jail or no?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I mean, you gotta prove.
Didn't he go to jail?
Definitive without a doubt.
I think he had to go. I think he's on bail.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't think.
Well, if you got, that makes sense then. Yeah, so they arrested him on bail, and then the trial. That makes a lot of sense then. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. He might. I mean, if it's literally process of elimination, and no one else could have shot her except for him, Did a person come into the car? It's like, no, he shot her then.
Maybe it was a bird. I don't know.
But what I want to know is where all these facts are coming from. Because, you know, you remember, like, they were like, oh, she got shot in, like, both feet. Mm-hmm. And then I heard, like, someone was like, oh, she stepped on glass instead or some shit. And I was like, well, where?
Two very different wounds.
Two very, like, where are these stories coming from?
I don't know. I feel like it's also, like, the police, when they show up, should be like, what the fuck happened? Like, if the gun went off, it's like, I don't know. I'd also, if someone shoots another person, I feel like also like chivalry goes out the fucking window. Like you know what I mean? Like if one of like let's just say if like Bobby killed someone, I'd help Bobby cover it up. But if Bobby killed Jerry,
stop talking.
It would be. Yeah.
I'd be at a crossroads, you know, because I like Jerry.
Yeah.
Or liked Jerry.
Like I'd probably be like, yeah, Bobby fucking shot Jerry, you know, like that fucking happened.
Oh man, there's stories I want to tell, but I'm like,
why? That's not a good segue.
Yeah, no. There's stories I want to tell.
Those people we shot.
No. But it's like after dark. You know, we need that after dark segment. Wait, stay tuned for the Patreon. 2023, it's coming. But fucking no, I was gonna segue it to something different. I'm here looking at Dylan's Christmas sweater and like orange cat, right, with laser.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier.
Shooting the North Pole, right?
All the hell's a dying.
So I don't know why this. Why I'll explain why, because I do know why. But
okay, tell me.
I was with my students last week for I forgot what. Oh, we were doing animation. But in animation, there's a lot of downtime, so I usually put on music, or sometimes I put on like a short movie that the kids could watch while they're drawing or like playing with the clay and stuff.
Okay.
But for some reason, I got caught up showing them like old Christmas specials from cartoons and stuff like that. So I started showing them like Christmas specials from Arthur and like Hey Arnold and SpongeBob and all that stuff. And then that turned into just me showing them, because they were like, I was literally showing them cartoons like Billy and Mandy, Foster's Home, and they're like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh,
damn, that's not even that old.
Exactly,
that's not even like Hey Arnold."
But that's that moment where I'm like, "We're up there. Like,
we're getting old, yeah, man."
Like, they don't know this anymore. But they enjoyed it, and I showed it to them. And at one point, one of the girls was like, "Put on Daniel Tiger." Have you heard about this? No.
Daniel Tiger. Okay.
I just want to make sure that I'm
okay. So like,
I want to make sure I'm getting the name.
So like, this sounds like a celebrity.
Check it. No. This is Daniel Tiger and his neighborhood. You see?
What is this?
Oh, I've seen this.
See it, Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, right?
I've seen Daniel Tiger, yep.
So she showed me this, and she put on the theme song, and, you know, I'm there with some of the other boys, and we're like, what the fuck are we watching this for? But as I'm watching it, and stop me at any point if any of this sounds familiar, right? The intro starts.
Okay.
There is a red trolley that drops Daniel Tiger at the top of his neighborhood in his house. He walks into his house. He takes off of his shoes, puts on his sneakers, he puts on a sweater, and then he walks over and feeds his fish in front of a traffic light. Okay. Does any of that sound familiar?
It does. I don't know what show it's from. But
it is literally Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood animated. It is shot for shot, and it's literally just a cartoon version of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, shot for shot.
Holy shit!
He even lives in like make believe. Wow. So I'm watching the show and I'm aboard the theme, and I'm like, this is fucking Mr. Rogers. Like the trolley, the theme song it matches. So I told him, I was like, this is a show that I grew up with. Except it was called Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and it was hosted by an old man named Mr. Rogers, and it wasn't a tiger. And I showed them, and they were like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, this is fucking idiots, man. I was trying to explain it, like, know this, you know? No Fred Rogers, no Daniel Tiger. Like, it's a direct correlation, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But and just to wrap it up in a nice bow, have you guys ever seen, it's a pretty viral video of Mr. Rogers talking to the Senate, I think, about children's programming and stuff like that. It's basically Mr. Rogers talking to somebody in the government to get like a $200,000 grant to make like TV programming for kids.
It was like PBS and stuff like that, for like.
And it's like really interesting because like when the video starts, the politician who's heading it, like he's talking to, is very like, okay, like, you know, like moving it along. But the whole way through, Mr. Rogers or Fred, he's very like, he's himself. He's like, I do this for the kids because I work with children. And his whole thing was Mr. Rogers loved kids. Like he did everything for the betterment of their futures, which was awesome. But at the end of the video, he asks the politician, he's like, would it be okay if I read some words from a song that I wrote about being a kid? And he reads it out word for word. And it's like this really like simple but sweet, heartfelt message about learning to control your emotions. And instead of being mad, going and riding a bike or talking to your friend about it or something like that. And after he reads the entire like song, like he doesn't even sing, he just reads it. Yeah. It cuts back to the politician and he's like, well, I think that's just wonderful. I think you just got $200,000 from the U.S. government. And everybody starts clapping and shit like that. And it's like the hypest thing because he did it in the most calm, collected. He was just like, he speaks it like one word a second. He's like, Mister, I would like you to know. But it's great. It's like one of the most badass moments, but also one of the most wholesome.
And also a big lesson that if people who actually want to change the world do not enter politics. That's not why they enter.
Go to PBS.
Yeah, you go to PBS, you do charity work, you do all that other shit. You don't enter politics if you want to make change in the world.
That's not wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people who think that's the right way, and then they get there and they're like, oh, this is the opposite, and I'm going to ride this shit out.
Yeah. Oh, it's the opposite? Oh, money? Oh,
right.
Oil? What about oil?
Joystick breaks down the government.
Yeah.
When's that episode of the podcast?
Oh, yeah, it's just us. It would have to be a Let's Play. It would have to be me and Jose on a Let's Play 40 minutes in.
You're not wrong. Yeah, cut to you guys talking about fucking every country that isn't the United States.
Yeah, Jose is like, okay, so the imports. It's like, all right,
China.
Yeah. Jesus, man, crazy.
I had something and I lost it. I'm kind of upset.
Yeah.
It was one of like before we did the podcast, I had like 4 things I wanted to hit. It was Daniel
lost
Tiger.
and found.
I keep thinking you're gonna say Daniel Tosh, and it's not Daniel Tosh.
It was the World Cup, and it was the Christmas shit we've been doing. But there was something else, man. In typical Joystick Show fashion, it wouldn't be the Joystick Show if I lost my train of thought.
Never, yeah.
If you have the bingo card at home, you could fucking check that one off right now. I don't think Dylan stuttered this episode. No. But
what else is on the bingo card?
The Joystick Show bingo card?
The Joystick Show bingo card.
I would say a camera shutting off, but we finally fixed those issues, so we're past that.
I don't think we're fully past.
We are. I got the new SD cards.
What else? Wire getting disconnected.
A wire getting bumped. That's a good one. Maybe a cat having the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A big stinky
How often
one.
has Joey knocked stuff over? He's knocked over stuff a few times, but
twice.
It hasn't been enough that you can make a thing for
missing candle. That's a big one.
Missing candle.
It's like every 5 episodes.
Missing candle's a good one.
We just look down and we're like, shit, you know.
And sign not on. That's only a few times, I think, right?
A few times.
Yeah, sign's usually on though.
You know what I do forget sometimes? I forget to put on that backsplash light sometimes. Since it's so small and hidden, and it makes such a big difference that it doesn't hit me until I'm editing, and I look at the shot and I'm like, this is bland as fuck. I'm like, there's no color back there at all. Now we need to make a fucking bingo card for the
we do. Yeah, I mean, we get that in Instagram post. I'll make it.
All the other fun stuff that we've been making. God, there was some. I'm so mad. Part of me wants to look at my YouTube history to see if I can crack this shit.
Do it. Crack the fucking code, bro.
Except I'm not gonna say my YouTube history out loud out of fear that it'll be embarrassing.
How?
I don't know. I'm a weird.
I'm like all like GeoGuessr and like geography and like all like true crime.
All the videos at the top are just the videos we were trying to find out who that one guy was earlier.
Eyebrows guy?
No, no. Our fan.
Yeah.
Nah, fucking, it is kind of funny. Like, I guess I could talk about this truthfully because it's not like I just watched it for a second, but we've been making a lot of content on the channel. So naturally, one of the bigger things I do, especially when it comes time to making a show or a one-off video that we've never done before, is I look for inspiration. Like, I look to other people who do it. And part of that, especially with looking up how certain channels tackle things like the Wikipedia race and the Let's Plays and stuff like that, I started watching a lot of, like, YouTube channels that we kind of grew up on that we don't watch anymore, and it's really interesting to see what they're up to now. And specifically, I'm talking about Achievement Hunter and Game Grumps.
Oh, okay.
Like, those were the two that I went, and it's funny because those are the two channels that you type in Let's Play anything, and then one of their videos pops up, But it's just fucking like.
I mean, there's some Let's Play channels that don't even exist anymore. I mean, a lot of them just like went belly up.
The majority of them.
Yeah, I remember I was watching an interview with Screw Attack. Where basically Craig from Screw Attack essentially said that for the first 9 years, he didn't even make a single cent. Because all of it went into paying the employees and paying for advertising and getting, new equipment.
And then they started Game Attack, which was supposed to be like their... Because I think what happened is Rooster Teeth acquired Screw Attack.
Yeah.
And then they made game attacks so that half of them could focus on strictly the games portion of it, and then the rest of them could do like death battle and all that shit. But I don't even think that is still around anymore, honestly. Jesus Christ. But
it's a desolate land in the YouTube
regardless,
world.
I thought it was interesting to see like what Game Grumps and Achievement Hunter's up to, and specifically Achievement Hunter, because part of me feels like I could say this because of how big of a fan I was, but how fucking low they have fallen. It is crazy. And it's weird because
it's I think it was also the once like shit started going wrong at Rooster Teeth, there was like accusations of stuff. One guy like literally murdered, like he like abused his wife and put her in the hospital. They fired like 1/8 of their staff or something like that when Fullscreen bought them.
There was the Ryan and Kovic situation,
and then they got bought again by another different company. So,
but you know, because they have, and I'm talking specifically Achievement Hunter, not necessarily like Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
But one thing that I don't necessarily like, and it makes sense, because if we're being honest, this is what everybody who has a Let's Play channel is doing nowadays, is they just stream it, and then they take the stream and turn it into a video.
Yeah.
So, and don't get me wrong, it saves a lot of time, especially when you're making as much content as people like Achievement Hunter. But you lose all of that fun shit that used to make Achievement Hunter what it was, right?
Yeah.
You lose the episodic Let's Play Minecrafts, and you lose the verses, and you lose literally AWU and all that shit.
They would have series.
Exactly.
And
like,
that's what made it good.
And then if we're like being honest, that's a big reason why Joystick is a lot like it is now. It's why we get together and we're not just like, oh, we're going to make a video. It's like, oh, let's see if we could turn that into a game show or something like that. But it's because they did it first and it worked. So it almost blows my mind that they don't do that anymore. Because like, at least in my head, it feels like a really easy way to just get viewership back. But you go there and it's just like, it's like Michael streaming a game for 8 hours and then they turn that into a video. And it's like, I don't know. It's not for me.
And if you watch the stream, right? Like,
there's no point in watching the video.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like streaming works in some cases. Like I've even thought about doing like group streams for Joystick, but literally like a once a month thing where we just put a camera in the room and we just take turns playing Overwatch or some shit like that. And it's less about, well, it is about entertainment, but not in like an overly showy way. It's literally just like,
it'd be like a chill stream.
just a chill stream. Word,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just more of the sense that it's a group thing and not just me in front of the desk. But point is, I feel like you have to have, if you're gonna go the streaming route, you have to have a good blend of not only just kind of doing the easy shit, but actually being creative and being smart with your content.
For sure.
And that's like what Game Grumps is doing too. Game Grumps is just, they pick a game, they play it, and then they put a fucking catchy title on it. And it's like, what happened to all the episodic shit and the fucking, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just being nostalgic, but
There was a level of, it seemed like, I don't know, maybe it was like a COVID thing. I don't know. I feel like they just got very cookie cutter. And it was like, it also might be like an editor thing. I don't know. It seems like it
is very cookie cutter.
It's just kind of like they were like, all right, editor, do this, do that. We'll pay you at the end of the week. And I feel like that's what it turned into as opposed to like creativity.
And at the end of the day, like I mentioned upstairs, that's why I look up to Super Mega so much, because even they kind of sacrifice the consistent uploads, because if you look at their channel, there's literally weeks where they'll just have the podcast up, like literally like us, and they'll use filler content like the Let's Plays and shit like that just to like add space, but it's because they're using those weeks to do something gigantic. Like they're always pushing the bar. They're either writing a book or making an album or fucking having a NASCAR car in an actual NASCAR race, but they're doing something ridiculous.
I showed my dad that and he was fucking cracking.
Right?
Yeah,
it's like, but that's why, like, and I feel like if more channels did that, and that's another reason why I really respect Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast takes all that money and just puts it into doing something fucking ridiculous the next time around. It's not like he's
and
just...
people like that kind of content. I mean, that's what people crave, and that's
It's
why
fun.
those videos pop off, because it's like they like when the thing either enters the real world, or it's more than just like, oh, this is a video online. It's like, this is, if it's an interactive thing, that's why people really like ARGs and like horror, analog horror series and things like that. It's because you can interact with it. It's not just like a random thing.
I was also gonna say, speaking of Mr. Beast, I went to his YouTube because I was, if you haven't noticed, the thumbnails on Joystick have looked a little more clickable than the past week, because I am genuinely trying to make them look a little better. So like, just to give you like some insight, this is what the thumbnails are looking like lately. But to get some inspiration, I went to Mr. Beast's YouTube channel. Look at, you know how like every YouTuber uses like the surprised face in all of their videos? Like, you know, either the face I'm talking about. That one, right? If you go to Mr. Beast's videos, every single one of his videos is that surprised face.
It has to be.
It's not even a slightly different.
It's his
one.
face.
It's
What do you
like,
mean? But that's
no,
he started
no,
it.
But like
it's his.
It's the same angle. It's left to right. It's never rotated. It's way too similar. Like even underwater, you know what I mean? It's like
it's kind of true. This is the kind of stuff that if you ever do a psychedelic, that's the shit that fucks you up and you don't realize. It's kind of like, what the fuck is this? Or it's like, I think I talked about it when I talked about the rehearsal, but there's like a page that posts like the people doing the same thing. Like a band even has a music video where it's like Cliche, I think the song is called. And for the music video, it just shows like all of the people leaning the Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, you talked about this on a recent podcast.
Yeah. And I just find it like that's the kind of thing that kind of bugs you out, and it's kind of like, damn, do I do that?
That shit is funny to me though. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
I kind of like, well, you know me because of like my weird TikTok or rather Instagram talk habits.
Yeah.
That I have a genuine love for the everyday normal guy who has no followers on Instagram.
That just wants.
I'm the person who gets those videos.
It's
and I'm
going
the
for
person
it.
who has them saved.
Fucking love those videos, man.
Those are my fucking favorite. Are you kidding me? I was also gonna ask Jerry, mad randomly. You've never really been the type to watch like YouTube channels like that, right?
Yeah, not really.
You just kind of like watch like more podcasty stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I watch like YMH sometimes.
That's a podcast.
Yeah, I just watch like podcasts here and there.
Because I feel like out of
I've never been like a Let's Play watcher. That's what.
Yeah, I feel like out of all of us, Jerry was the one who
Yeah.
never really grew up with that, and he's arguably one of the better ones on the channel.
Yeah, oh for sure.
But I think that leans in more to him just being an ultra gamer. I mean, not as much as Jose.
I mean, I watch more streams, I guess. Like
Yeah, Jerry's a
these
stream
days.
guy.
I'd rather just like sit and watch the stream. I mean, it's the same effect, I guess.
We're gonna share one last thing.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing before we go into Jam and Yam, because I went through my YouTube history, and I saw it, and I was like, how did I not tell Dylan about this?
Oh, okay.
Why? What happened?
No, go ahead.
Remember when I told you I was showing my kids things?
Yeah.
In my animation class.
Correct.
So animation is my last class of the day. The first class I teach is film.
Mm-hmm.
So I was showing them film, and I sat them down, and I realized that these kids take it. They have it too good, you know. They have fucking 8 streaming services they can watch movies on, right? I ask these kids what movies that they say, and they tell me movies I haven't even seen, and I'm like, Jesus, you know what I mean?
Wait, do these kids not know what bootleg DVDs are?
No. So
That's where my brain went.
So I was like, you guys have it too good. You guys have seen too many good movies.
Oh.
So I went onto Amazon, and I loaded up a little movie called The Diamond Cobra versus the White Fox. And I showed them some scenes.
Bobby.
And safe to say, all of my students now hate Diamond
Bobby,
Cobra.
what'd you do?
They thought it was the funniest fucking thing. They were like, you should have seen their faces.
That makes me no idea. That makes me so happy, Bobby.
Bro, my favorite part of the experience was like I showed them a scene. It was the scene where I showed them a bunch, but it was specifically the scene where Targella is with the college student and the fake shitty CGI snake comes out of her mouth and like kills the student or whatever. And just a student, not even trying to make a joke, like it literally just came out of them. They were like, "We film things better than that here," and I was like, "You see,
You guys are good.
You guys aren't as bad as you think. This is an adult who made this with other adults. So like, you know.
This is on Amazon, and and there are 20 other movies that they made.
Yeah, that's when, and I told them that too. I was like, they have like 6 other movies. They were like, what the fuck? They were like, Bobby. I was like, yeah, guys, you can do it. I'm like, that doesn't have to look like this, but you can do it.
Look better than that.
I got such a kick out of that.
That's hysterical, bro.
I told them beforehand. I was like, this movie has about 60 main characters. So I told them, I was like, I exaggerated, and I was like, the intro credit scene is like 15 minutes long. It's 3.5 minutes.
It is
of the same background, and then a name just keeps sprinkling on and some shitty.
I don't
pre-generated text.
It's like not
thing.
even centered. I don't think either.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, and you have to sit through that for 3.5 minutes for every single person.
I kind of want to watch a bad movie upstairs now. Not that one, obviously,
Please,
but like
no. Too soon. I guess it's a good place to segue this to Jam and the Yam. But before I do so, I just want to go ahead and use this time to plug my new show, Movies That I Like, which came out yesterday. And the only reason I do that is because after talking about some bad movies, you should go check out some good ones, like the ones I mentioned yesterday. So go ahead and check them out. But yeah, it's Jam and Yam. You ready?
Yeah, I think I am.
I mean, I could go.
Yeah.
My jam is actually just the jam that I mentioned last week. That was going to be the jam this week. However, I have to be honest. I did find like you know, in typical fashion, like 6 other potential jams. So I was like, damn, this is a hard pick.
Correct.
But at the end of the day, I decided to stick with my gut and say, no, I'm going to pick the song that I mentioned was going to be the jam this week, last week. And I also did it because the song is very appropriately titled Snowfall.
Nice.
And it's by Øneheart and reidenshi. It's like a TikTok-y. I think I've played this song for you. It's a very like trancey, ambient instrumental vibe, but it's a really beautiful song.
Nice.
So.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was originally looking for like a Christmas song, and I don't have any Christmas songs on Spotify. I had Christmas Card, which is a Joyce Manor song, which is pretty good, but I felt like that wasn't really a Christmas song because it's more emo than anything. So I'm picking a song that I actually found last Christmas, and that would be "Edit the Sad Parts" by Modest Mouse.
Gotcha.
Beautiful song. It's almost 10 minutes long because at the 7-minute mark the song ends and they forgot to hit stop on the recording. Shit like that I love. But it's a mega good song. It's like really beautiful in like a weird like kind of like droney kind of sense. Like it gives me like Pixies Where Is My Mind vibes, where it's just like really like droney guitars bassy, and really long. But yeah, beautiful song. Love it. Go listen to it.
Fire.
Yeah.
Real quick, I wanted to hit Dylan with a trivia question. Do you remember, because I do, what your jam of the week was on the first Christmas special?
No, I do not.
Because it was Christmas related.
Oh, was it?
Mm.
Was it like a ska song?
It was.
Nice.
It was the ska version of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
By Real Big Fish? Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know why I remember that. I think it was because that was the first time you ever picked a jam that was related to like something where I was like, whoa, I've never even thought of that.
Yeah. And then I did it 3 more times and it wasn't as good.
Yeah. That's why I did this one today. And then he hits me with like, mine isn't Christmas related. And I'm like, okay, I tried. We'll meet in the middle someday, though.
Yeah.
So my song of the week is actually, it was a sample on Drake's album. And I remembered it because it's a song that's also in Need for Speed Underground. And I was listening to it, and you listen,
I know this.
You know it right away because it's on Rich Flex, and it's when they do the beat switch and it switches to T.I.'s 24s.
Okay.
And it goes dun 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 dun.
I think I know what song he's talking about.
It's in Need for Speed, bro.
Yeah. Didn't play.
Shout out that game. That game is fucking.
If Jose were here, he'd be like,
yeah. All right. So what's the song?
It's called 24s by T.I.
Oh, okay.
Fucking T.I. at Need for Speed. It's like the Jose episode right there.
Fucking T.I.
Well, yeah. Thanks for stopping by for episode 120. Yeah. Christmas special. Very sporty episode.
Yeah.
Very Christmassy episode. Very legally episode. I don't know where I'm going with this. We talked about movies. And
it would have been legally if Joey was here. He would have talked about some She-Hulk, you know?
Oh, yeah, right. How the show's actually pretty fucking good, huh?
Yeah. Who would have thought?
But, you know, who... I don't know. So just honestly, that got me mad. I'm not even gonna lie. That I was gonna go to a tangent, and then I was like, the argument is like 4 months old. It's Christmas.
Bobby's Arthur fisting under the desk right now. He's like, thank you guys for having a
Thank you for watching the Joystick Show. If you like this episode, it would help us a great deal if you could go ahead and like it. I mean, I like this. I like what we talked about. I like this show. So you know what? I'd like this episode.
Yeah.
Not on the Joystick account because that makes us look.
What are people commenting?
You know what people are commenting? Yeah. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Yeah, honestly, yes.
You know why I'm asking that?
Why?
Because it's only dawning on me now that I didn't ask that in the movies I like. Which would have been Prime, you know. But, you know, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
I know mine. I watched it the other day, and I'm pretty sure it is on the episode of...
I'm pretty sure it is, too. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. And if you're right, it's number 1.
Honestly, almost all of the ones you picked were, like, my favorites.
Mm-hmm. There's some obscure ones, but... Yeah.
What's the one where Seth Rogen takes a lot of drugs?
Hate that movie. Hate. And then the night before, I hate that movie. I could go on a full-on tangent, but I won't. It's the weirdest fucking movie.
It's a weird movie.
Interesting.
Fuck, can I go on a real quick tangent?
All
right, real quick. Sorry.
Sorry, guys. We're not ending.
Hold on. So in that movie, there's this guy. What's his name? I think his name is like Michael English or something like that.
That's the guy that's the magic drug dealer?
Yeah. They have a drug dealer that they go to, and I think the joke is that it's like their old...
it's like Pineapple Express.
But it's with Seth Rogen, Anthony Mackie, and this kid, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
The three of them. But the whole deal is that they're like he said, Seth Rogen's character is this big druggie. He gets all these drugs to take with his friends.
Okay.
But their drug dealer is also like their middle school gym coach or something like that. So that's like the joke. And another like theme of the movie is they go to him like 3 times, and he's supposed to act as kind of like that ghost
Past,
of Christmas,
present, future,
past, present,
yeah.
future type thing. But the movie literally ends with him smoking a joint and then growing angel wings and flying off screen. And I lost it at that point. I was like, I don't want to watch the rest of this movie. It was the most weird fuck. And don't get me wrong, that's like the epitome of Seth Rogen's movies. Yeah. But I was like, too much.
No, that's definitely
never
true.
watching.
I'm a good old like I don't know what it is because it's like I like when movies are like groundbreaking or like they do something weird or corny or whatever. But with Christmas movies, make it corny, make it nice, make it a fucking Christmas movie.
Exactly.
Don't try to don't add all this stuff. This is the one time that I'm like, I want that. I don't want corniness and all this other happiness at any points of the year. Easter, make a fucking tragic movie, make a guy fly into fucking heaven, but don't do that during Christmas.
Thanks for watching. Comment, Christmas
do stuff.
movie, like, subscribe.
Happy Hanukkah.
Show's ends now.
Yeah.
Show end now. Show.
Maybe.